What criteria should firms apply when deciding upon a process for fixed income attribution?
There are a lot of things to consider when you're looking for an attribution system. There's cost, there's systems complexity, there is ease of use. But above all, the most important aspect, if you're going to look at one single aspect, it's how well does that attribution process reflect the actual underlying investment process? I say that because there are some systems that will force their analytics on you. They'll force their methodologies on you. And if that's not the way they manage the book, then it's almost a non-starter. For instance, if in particular, asset management, if you're a fixed income shop like we are duration neutral. So it's very important that on a daily basis we demonstrate that our net duration to the benchmark is close to zero. And we do that management based on our underlying analytics. If the attribution system doesn't allow us to use our own analytics, we have to use theirs. And for instance, we manage our book using bullet durations, but this system might use key rate durations, which some people might argue is superior. But if it's not the way they manage the book, you're going to get results out of the attribution system that don't convey the message that we are telling clients or that even our daily reports are showing. And so when that is the case, you have to reevaluate and ask the question, why are we looking at this system at all? If it doesn't reflect how we manage money, it doesn't matter if it's cheaper, it doesn't matter if it's easy to use, it doesn't get the job done.
So then how does a firm match a model to an investment process?
The question we have to ask first is, how are we portraying ourselves to the client? Like I said, we're a duration neutral shop, and we are also we're a security selector. So we don't take duration bets and we don't take sector bets. For instance, we will not deliberately overweight, let's say, the energy industry or the mortgage sector. We actually look at relative value. We look at relative value trades, and what makes sense. In other words, what's trading at such a high spread that over the course of the next 6 months, that spread's going to compress and we're going to make some money. It doesn't matter what sector we're in. We roll up those trades and that becomes our portfolio. If the system that we're adopting can't reflect that, if we can't tell this story through our attribution model, which is actually one of the most important tools we present on a quarterly basis, then we've got a problem just having to explain the discrepancy in the attribution message, and we can't be wasting time explaining discrepancies. Mm-hmm. There's got to be consistency between the way we market ourselves and the way the reports reflect us.
I think you've described, how a firm knows when it's picked the wrong model. So how does a firm know when it has the correct model?
Well, actually, I'm going to combine those two questions because they're really, one is the converse of the other. You've picked the wrong model. If you're, in fact, I know this from personal experience, if you could be generating a rocket science-like model, attribution numbers using all kinds of analytics, but if it doesn't reflect what the guys are doing on the desk, if they take that report and they file it into the recycling bin, that is the one clear indication that you've failed. Mm-hmm. On the other side, knowing you have picked the right model is when they get their reports, they get their their analysis, and they ask for more. Mm-hmm. And it feeds on itself. That's when you know they're using it and they're managing by that product, mm-hmm. and they want more. So if they ask for more, you've succeeded. If they don't ask you anything and you know that they're throwing it away, which is not unheard of, mm-hmm. you failed. And if you get to this point after you've made the implementation, heads are going to roll. And this is a decision that's got to be figured out up front, which is why the front office, portfolio managers, product managers have got to be involved in the decision from the get-go. It can't just be the IT folks and the attribution folks and the accountants. It's got to involve the people that actually manage the money, the ones that are portraying the message, or who are communicating the message on a regular basis. It's easy when things are going well, mm-hmm. But if you're underperforming, this is especially in this day and age, in the last 6 months or so, if you're underperforming, you can explain why. You've actually you've maintained your credibility with the client because you can't outperform every quarter. You can't outperform every month. And even in months and quarters when you do outperform, if you can't explain why, and in a way that's consistent with what you sold them in the first place, again, your credibility is shot and they're going to start looking around.